As a video game connoisseur, you have probably faced the same problems with choice architecture every other player has met with. You have become a target of untruthful and predatory marketing after hearing that every choice in this game you're gonna buy for 60 bucks actually matters. You bought the game, played the hell out of it, passed a difficult charisma check with your favorite pixel shotty.
What did you just put in your pocket?
And got the ending you wanted. You're happy, right? Well, you should be. You played a great role-playing game, and your playthrough was so unique, right?
Подождать, Илья. Успокойся. Почему ты всегда в такая спешка, чтобы доказать свое мнение?
My bad, G.
Один день ты прогрузить чей-то мозг, один из своих белый мальчик видео эссе. Как тебе потом справляться с последствиями?
That's right. Some of you may not even know what the hell I'm talking about yet. What's choice architecture, you may ask? It's basically this. How your decisions affect the outcome of a questline, the character's fate, the ending of the game, etc. How individualized the developers made the player experience. How you can make each playthrough differ from the next one. Hope you got it now. You played a great role-playing game, and your playthrough was so unique, right? Nope. I think it's come to a point where you can literally have the same playthrough, even in an RPG, which is the whole point of such games. Replayability. It's not that hard to recreate your past playthrough. Like, at all. Sure, you're gonna miss a couple of side quests here and there, but the ending is literally dependent on a single decision at the end of the game. Now, let's not jump to conclusions and take a closer look at this. My opinion will mostly form of the last 3 choice-heavy games I played. I'm not going to talk about games like Beyond Two Souls, The Walking Dead, Detroit Become Human. Basically, I can't really talk shit about them. Y'all remember the Cyberpunk controversy, how the devs basically released a half-baked game. 4 years later, I can safely call it the greatest comeback in video game development history. It's really endearing seeing how far CDPR has come, even winning the Labor of Love award at the Game Awards.
Cyberpunk 2077!
Cyberpunk is far from perfect, but the story behind it, man, I would be lying if I said this isn't one of my favorite games of all time. You know the sheer feeling of freedom you feel when...
Илья, прекрати твое фанбойство.
Oh, okay. Back to choice architecture. CP2077 lets you see the flaws of its choice architecture right at the start of the game. You have some basic decisions to make. Your appearance, your stats, and of course the life path you chose to take. Sounds great, doesn't it? Well, the difference between those 2 life paths ends 2 hours into the game. And then it's just a couple of voice line options, a single side quest, and that's pretty much it. But let's look at this situation from the dev's perspective. CDPR can't physically make those life paths of extremely severe importance, because then they would have to create 3 different games. Well, if you can't make those choices really matter, then why not make a linear game? Like God of War did, and got immensely popular, partly because it's a very cohesive story without any derivations. I think it mostly boils down to how the company wants to promote their game. And let me tell you, for CP2077, the choices you could make in that game and the playthrough variety was the single greatest selling point. The ending, same as with Baldur's Gate 3, basically only differs right at the end. Sure, there's a secret ending you can get if you complete certain tasks throughout the game, but I think that's simply an illusion of choice. Partly because the secret ending sounds like a running gag. In that ending, V, our main hero, basically wipes out the Arasaka Tower, our big bad's headquarters, single-handedly. Which doesn't sound like a feasible ending to a game. Like there's no way that can be canon in the Cyberpunk universe. It's just basically a power fantasy at this point. So yeah, you get most of the endings from a single choice presented in the last mission. How about Baldur's Gate 3? It made quite a bit of noise last year. And surely the whole plot point of being infested by a tadpole and resisting the power it can give you will have some relevance, right? Incorrect. Throughout my whole playthrough I resisted the urge to put points in the tadpole tree and get some really cool abilities for my characters. What did I get in return? This, bro. Absolutely nothing. The ending choice is basically the same thing as in Cyberpunk. Nothing I did throughout the game, none of my choices actually mattered. With the sole exception of getting a bit of support in the final fight. Which is cool and all, but it really doesn't justify going through billions of side quests throughout the whole game. Now, Disco Elysium. By the way, compared to the last two entries, it is nowhere near as popular, and it has its own type of playstyle. There's basically no gameplay, it's similar to reading a book or a light novel. You just go around and talk to characters while trying to solve the murder. And if you watched closely, the graph I showed at the start of the video was Disco Elysium's choice architecture. How your decisions affect the outcome. It's a really variable game with different outcomes for the majority of quests, and the endings are affected by reactions throughout the game. For example, if you continue to be the alcoholic Harry Dubois, the protagonist, was before the start of the game, chances are you will probably get a bad ending. And the choices start to matter after literally 1 second of playing the game. You can take the Schizo Bratan necktie and have a companion with some questionable morals.
Don't knock, just leave. You don't need this. You don't need to sad it up.
Or you can choose not to. You can also shoot a child in the first 5 minutes of playing the game. It's totally up to you. So I think Disco Elysium is one of the great examples of a well-built choice architecture. But it's an indie game without any gameplay. It's clear that the focus of the game was dialogues and the options you have at your disposal. So it's not really a surprise its choice architecture is that great. Okay, so what have we learned today? Games aren't what they used to be, and the impending doom of an apocalyptic event that wipes 99% of humanity is upon us? Yes and no. Games used to be much more player sensitive. Just take a look at Oblivion, Morrowind, the first two Fallout games, or the first two Baldur's Gates. Everything is subject to change though. As time goes on, generations affect the next generations. Our taste buds for entertainment shift, and we force the market to adapt and evolve once again. You know, every year we let AAA companies get away with more and more. I always lose a part of myself when I open Steam reviews for the new COD or FIFA game and see 80% negative reviews. And every fucking year people still continue buying those games. I know that for a casual player getting those games is the first choice, but come on, really? We can do so much better than that. As for choice architecture and its current state, let's face it, it's pretty bad. But passionate developers still try to revive those ideas. That every playthrough must be different, and every player must experience something unique. And for that they really deserve our praise. Go support Larian and CDPR, try one of their projects. Also give Disco Elysium a try. Post about it on social media, all that great stuff. If you would like to see more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe and comment, since it really helps me grow as a creator.
Seriously, please subscribe or he will have my head.
A couple of days back I saw a positive comment that really motivated me to keep going and keep filming those videos for you guys. So your opinion matters. But thank you for watching, I've been Ilya from Heaven 9 Earth, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.